I have. Waiting for Leona. Hello.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm better now that I've seen Jaden dancing. That was amazing.
That was amazing. The way
It
he
was so good.
moved. It was so
Oh,
flexible and
yeah,
just
just like so much creativity and yeah, it just made me like moved me. And listening to Imogen as well was incredible. So yeah, I feel good now because I've been up and down. So
yeah.
yeah,
I
that
know.
just made me feel good.
I know. This when earlier this week, Stuart and I were we're talking about we're going should Friday really go ahead because we want to give as much obviously light um, to everything that's going on as possible without, you know, something like this getting in the way. And Stuart came back and just said the Brit School is all about this. It's
Yeah.
about inclusion. It's about celebrating culture and bringing people together. And he's actually said, you know, it would be devastating for the people involved with Brit for it not to go ahead. So I'm so happy that it has, and I can feel the energy through the show. You
Yeah,
know,
it's definitely it changed my mood coming on because obviously everything is very heavy right now.
yeah,
And then I got to listen to music and see dance and movement, and immediately my mood just shifted. And even what you were talking about just then at the end of Jaden's performance, like Brit for me was so inclusive
mm,
and so diverse, dynamic, and yeah, that's just something that I'll always cherish and
mm.
remember about the school.
Um, what age were you when you went to Brit?
I was 14. I was a baby. Yeah,
And what
14.
what course were you studying?
Music. I did music, and I also my second was dance.
Yeah.
I was nothing like Jaden, but I tried my best.
And when you were there, did you immediately feel included and no judgment? Exactly what Jaden was saying just now.
Yeah, totally. And like he spoke a bit about bullying. Obviously, at 14, the school that I went to before that, I experienced a bit of bullying.
Mm,
And then I came to Brit, and like there was just none of that. Like it was
mm,
such a different experience, what I'd come from to going to this school. And it just gave me, yeah, it opened up a whole new world to me. And yeah, at that age, especially at 14, like it's such a tender age. And
yeah.
um, yeah, it was a really good experience.
And obviously the last week has been incredibly tough for everybody and for you, as you were
Mm,
saying to me as we were chatting before this.
yeah.
Um, can you explain what's going on? I mean, how?
I mean, it is so heavy, and my heart has just been like, ugh, it's been broken. Like
Yeah.
my heart feels broken. And I was talking to my dad like a few days ago, and I was on the phone, and I was in tears, and I was crying. I was so
Mm,
stressed out about everything. Like, what can I do? How, like, you start spinning. And he was just like, go and sit at the piano and sing. And I was like,
mm,
oh yeah, oh yeah, I can do that. Like, and I just went, and I just kind of, like Imogen said, like this is a time to really experiment, improvise, and be
mm.
free. And I have been doing a lot of that actually during um, isolating and
Yeah.
lockdown. Got my own like little recording set up now.
Yeah.
Um, so I've been recording myself a lot, which has been interesting because I've never done that before. So I'm like, okay, I'm an engineer now. This is happening. All right. And like, yeah, just really becoming a bit more independent
Mm,
in the way I create, which has
hmm.
been really cool. So yeah, just been kind of sitting in my music and
Yeah.
in just creating just for the sake of it, which
So
has
are
been.
you are you writing an album at the moment?
I'm writing, yeah, at the moment for an album, and I had this idea about a few songs that I wanted to do in this period. And like the discussion earlier about like, oh yeah, you suddenly think I've got all this time, I'm going to be creative, and then you almost like put a bit of pressure on yourself.
Mm.
But actually it's come quite natural, which has
Mm.
been really good because I've just had time to sit and have space
Mm.
and just write and kind of really experiment. So yeah, it's been good. In that side of it's been really
Yeah,
positive.
yeah. And how much of it have you got done
I
on the
feel
writing,
like
for the
I'm
writing side of
literally
things?
scratching the
Really?
surface. I'm scratching the surface, and I just want to keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper and see kind of where it takes me.
Mm.
Um, because this time's definitely, I don't know, I just feel a bit more freedom in what I'm doing. So I
Mm.
want to keep that, keep that momentum even as we come out of,
Mm.
what's going on.
For sure. And coming back to Brit again. Um, what do you think is the biggest thing that's changed, or do you think that the Brit School has always had a constant?
Yeah, I feel like it's always had a constant. I remember when I went back a few years ago, and although obviously some of the buildings have changed and stuff, like the energy and the spirit of the school has always remained the
Mm.
same, which is what drew me there in the first place. Like I
Mm.
remember just, I used to travel. I think it took me an hour and 45 minutes to get to school every day. I lived in Hackney,
Mm.
kind of near Tottenham. And I was like, I don't care. I will travel to get into because it was magnetic. I was really,
Yeah.
really drawn to it. I was drawn to how, open and creative you could be in a very safe space,
Mm.
and feel just very supported,
Mm. And
Um,
do you remember going there to do an audition, because you'd have had to do that before you joined, obviously. At
I
what age
think
were you?
so. I must have been 13, maybe 13 or
Yeah.
14. Actually, at the time, because I started off classically. So my audition, I sang an opera piece,
Mm.
and then I think I sang like maybe like a Whitney Houston song, of
Yeah.
course. Why not? Um, and so I think that I went twice to audition, I feel like, or there was like two stages to my audition process. And oh my gosh, I was like literally like pooping my pants. It was so scary.
Stuart said before, when he was introducing, he said that you sung Whitney Houston Under the Tree, and it just
Oh,
blew everyone away.
that's a special tree. Yeah, that's a special tree. I remember I performed there, performed in the big foyer as well. And also what I loved about Brit is that we had these bands that we kind of created as well. So we could all like people that were individual artists could come together and create things. And I sang in a band with some people from my year, and yeah, to have that experience too was
Mm.
really great, to like have the collaboration aspect and creating
Mm.
together. Because before Brit, I kind of was very much on my own in my own little world, doing
Mm.
my own thing. So that opened me up to that creative side, which was cool.
And yeah, I went down there in December, and they had the world music show, and like every single song was from a different music culture, but
Yeah.
all the kids were swapping instruments and moving around, and you could see some kids were really not comfortable playing what they were playing, but they were made to do it. And
Yes. Yeah.
ultimately, it's that kind of thing which challenges everybody.
Yeah. So challenging. I remember I had to play the piano. I think we played like Crazy Little Thing Called Love. And
Mm.
I was like, how am I going to do this? Like, I was okay to play piano on my own and just like little chords and, you know, diddle around writing songs myself, but coming to perform and actually I wasn't singing. I wasn't even doing BVs. Someone else was singing the lead, and I was
Mm.
literally just on piano accompanying her. I'd
Yeah,
never done that before. Like it properly pushed me out of my comfort zone.
yeah.
Um, but that's where you have to go in order to get better.
Totally, totally. And a question I'm asking everyone tonight is, what makes Brit special?
Ooh, what makes Brit special? So many things, but I would say the inclusivity, being so supportive to just being open and being yourself, and giving you the freedom to express yourself in whatever way, shape, or form you want that to be.
I think you're absolutely right.
But this is great though. I love it. It's so good. I'm so glad that you guys still went ahead, because I was like, oh God. But it's good. It's shifting the
I know,
energy going
but
on right.
and there were a couple of people who, you know, it's hit them so hard they didn't want to do something like this, and that's totally understandable, you know.
Yeah. Everyone's in their own, you know, process of how they're handling things, and
absolutely,
you have to just give it the time and respect, and
of course,
everyone's an individual thing.
I know, and I think it's so inspiring for all the younger musicians seeing you on here, and you know, I think for so many people you're their role model, so it's amazing that you're on tonight.
Yeah, I'm so glad I could be part of it. Thank you for inviting me to be part of it. I really
And
appreciate it.
we can't wait to hear some new music from you.
Yay! Yeah, next time I'll have to perform.
Okay, we'll hold you to that. We'll do a Brit School special again.
Yes, yes, I'll host it.
Okay, well, lots and lots of love to you and your
Lots
family.
of love. Thank you.
Lots of love. Bye.
Bye. Oh, I don't know how to leave.